Hey guys, John from SurfFX, and we're having a look at the Starboard Generation. This is a pretty special board for us because it's fairly unique in the marketplace. As you can see, it's pretty big. They do them in a 12/6 or a 14 in a couple different widths. But it's the board that is the race board for guys who don't want to race but still want to race occasionally. It's a downwind board for guys who are getting into downwind supping but want to be able to flat water paddle. And it's a board you can get some waves on. Really fun board in full face or waves that are just like waist high, shoulder high. This thing just picks it up and glides and goes for ages. But it turns. That's the special thing over a race board. It's, it's got a surfboard tail, but we'll get to that in a second. Starboard as a brand, as most of you guys know, pretty tops in the world of racing. They tend to have the fastest boards and the fastest people at most races around the world, and the World Tour included. And they've taken a lot of that technology and stuff they've learned, particularly with the hull shape on the bottom, and applied it to this board. So you've got a little bit of nose rocker, and there's a bit of volume, particularly up the front. It's just a little bit of a lump on it. That helps when you punch through a wave. It helps shed the water on either side. It helps the board come up nice and easy. Some race boards are very aggressive there, but to make it comfortable in the surf, you don't want it too big. So just enough there. You got GoPro mounts here with a single FCS plug, so you can put GoPro mount. Some guys will put like a navigation thing. Also have tie down points on here. They come with a bit of the bungee shock cord, but you can do other stuff here. Like I said, we got my own personal fishing board, a little bit modified, similar kind of bungee, but also a more solid tie down roof rack strap to get things more secure. They are a Gore-Tex vent, so they breathe a bit easier. Getting into the standing area, there's a slight drop, and this is where the comfort kind of comes into it. You've got a slightly scooped deck, similar to what they do have on their race boards, and it allows just a little bit lower stance in the board, helping your stability and your center of gravity, but having your feet kind of up on the edge of the rail can speed up the reaction as well, because you don't have as much to push to kind of counter the roll of the board when you're wobbly. These are pretty stable. They're a 28 or a 30 wide, so stability they're pretty solid. There's a lot of volume, so they cater to quite a range of size people. Starboard have a really good handle, so it's not too bad to carry. And weight of these is not hard to carry either. You've got a carbon construction Starlight. I think the carbon's around 12 and a bit kilos, and it's just under 13, so not a huge difference for the next version up. But it's quite a bit cheaper to save that money to add a little bit of weight. That concave continues through the back until you get to the tail. In the tail, you've got a surfboard style tail kick, which is good, and you can really see the outline of the board pulls in a bit more, almost like their longboard profile of the rail shape to the back end. So when you walk back if you're on a wave and step back, it really is able to kind of pivot off that tail, because it starts a bit wider, then really tucks in narrow into a small square on the back of the tail. And fin-wise, it's a thruster fin setup, so you get to have a nice surf setup. You can pull the side fins if you want to cut the drag for flat water. But it's just a board. It's pretty cool because you can take this downwinding and you can take it for small, swell stuff. You can go ripple riding like behind boat washes and stuff like that quite easily, and for training, nice and stable, so you're not going to fall in too much compared to race boards. On the bottom, again, so that, well, you see a massive blue here. It's hard to see on camera, but you do have a slight V through the front, again, to kind of help keep it from just slapping as you pop into any chop it all. And then you come through, that V continues here, and it really spreads here to like a double concave. It's quite a bit more scooped here, so this is more that planing area of the board, so that channels the water, gets a little bit more speed out of it, and then you get back to the tail, where that V kind of gets a little bit more aggressive. That helps it go from rail to rail when you want to turn it. Rocker line also, bit of nose rocker, flat through this center section. And then when you get to the fins, it does increase back out a bit to get it quite a bit of a looser board. So you think you need, you just got to step back to that fin area, and it'll rock back on that rocker and be able to lift the nose out basically and turn. So pretty nice board on small waves, and even some full big waves. If you want to start chasing some bigger stuff, it's not a gun, but it'll let you paddle out and with some decent speed and paddle onto some bigger waves.